It's my pleasure tonight to welcome you all to our second annual TEDx event at the Mount. And we have, as Peter mentioned, a wonderful lineup of speakers from a diverse array of sectors and organizations, all of whom work on behalf of creating stronger communities and a better world. A belief in the human capacity to build a better world is at the heart of what universities do, and that's certainly true at the Mount. Much of our faculty research is focused on finding solutions to complex social problems: food security, gender equity, economic inequality, aging with dignity, the prevention of violence against women. Within our science departments, we have faculty working to study and do research on enzymes that are markers for Alzheimer's, or the effects of pollution on plant ecosystems. Within our faculty, our departments in the arts, in politics, in philosophy, in history, we have faculty members who are seeking patterns of clarity and significance that help us understand our world today and tomorrow. My own academic discipline is English literature, and I believe passionately in the power of fiction and poetry to awaken our minds to the commonality of human experience, and by doing so, to help us make choices that shape a better world. I'm very fond of quoting a poem by Lorna Crozier called How Things Get Started, which to me illustrates the life-changing insights that a poet can give us through her poetry. The poem is about an uptight monk, Brother Philip, who lives a narrow, repressed existence with his fellow monks in an abbey. One day, he discovers a little note pinned in his socks when they come back from the laundry. The note says simply, "I love your feet." According to the little hints that the poem gives us, no one has ever loved much of anything about Brother Philip in his past life. So the very idea that someone could love his awkward, humble, pedestrian feet is absolutely transforming for him. He spends the rest of the poem first trying to figure out who left that little note in his socks, who might be the one who loves him. But then eventually he starts to imagine how he might pass on this transformative gift of love by leaving a secret note for someone else in their laundry. And when Lorna Crozier titles her poem How Things Get Started, she's pointing to one avenue open to us to move towards a better world, and that's the act of imagining the life of another with love and compassion. Her poem is just such an act, and within that poem, someone in the abbey imagines the emotionally impoverished life of Brother Philip and takes a simple step that makes an enormous difference in his world. Brother Philip starts to imagine in turn what it might be like to give the same gift to a fellow creature. That's how things get started, through acts of generous imagination. I think we can all point to works of literature that have had such power on us to make us understand deeply the experience of our fellow humans and want to put our energy into making tomorrow's world better than today's. Harriet Beecher Stowe's Uncle Tom's Cabin in 19th century America galvanized the work of the abolitionists with its bleak picture of slavery and its effects. Lawrence Hill's Book of Negroes reminds us that racism infects Canada just as much as the United States, and it prompts us to scrutinize our own attitudes as we imagine the pain and the effects of racism. I recently read Mi'kmaq elder Isabel Knockwood's Out of the Depths, her memoir of being a residential school survivor. And it left a searing imprint on me, one I think far stronger than any policy paper or government document might do. Dickens, Shakespeare, Margaret Atwood, Timothy Finley, with their stories of economic injustice, of the horrors of war, of the chilling effect of totalitarianism, of the ugliness of jealousy and the redeeming power of love. All those works have helped me see connections between myself and the lives of others, and I can't help but imagine that that's true for all of us here in the room. Those of us who work in universities have an extraordinary opportunity to participate and be witness to the expansion of our students' minds as they read, explore, discover, learn how things are and how they might be otherwise. It happens in classes, of course, as our students grapple with ideas and concepts in economics and mathematics and chemistry and child study, in business, and all the myriad subjects that they take in their university degree. It happens as they take on service learning projects, tutoring kids in Spryfield, helping out with the sponsorship and support of our refugee students here at the Mount, working in daycare centers for low-income children, spending time with the elderly in nursing homes. It happens when they study abroad and encounter their challenges of second language, of second languages and of strange and different cultures and social norms. It happens in their volunteer projects as they raise funds for Phoenix House, for cystic fibrosis, for the United Way. Sometimes as a result of what they learn and the changes that they want to see, our students become activists who demonstrate against the establishment, including their own university administration. But that's how it should be. That's how we teach and learn from each other. In my own university experience many years ago, my mind was stirred and awakened by the courses that I took and by the professors who taught me. And then I had an opportunity to be an exchange student between my third and fourth year of university. I went from a small town in Tennessee to the country of Poland, then still under communist rule. I visited museums, art galleries, and cathedrals for the first time in my life. I learned about a different political and economic structure, both the hardships of communism, but also the ideals of social equality that it aimed to achieve. I heard and struggled to learn a new language. I made lifelong friends, and I've returned a number of times to Poland to reunite with them. I was changed profoundly by this experience, and my final year of university saw me take new and more difficult courses and to push myself in directions I'd never before considered. My own 4 undergraduate years were without question how things got started for me, and I want for each of our students at the Mount a comparable journey. Our life's work, and it is the work of a whole life, is to think beyond the boundaries of our narrow selves, to seek to understand other lives and other worlds, to imagine other and better possibilities for the future of our world. And more than that, it's to take the fruits of our imagining to figure out our own path to efficacy. Where can we make a difference, and how will we make that difference? How will we set about to put messages in socks to change the conditions of life for another person, for a community, for a country? I look forward now to hearing from our other speakers their vision of how things get started, how in their own work they seek to imagine and to help us move toward a better world. Thank you.